What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and most importantly, please make sure that you are following me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today we are headed on over to Texas, I believe the San Antonio area, if I'm not mistaken, because we have to discuss some very tragic and unfortunate news that occurred over there concerning an illegal immigrant that committed a mass shooting at his place of employment, taking the lives of 3 people. So let's get into this clip right now, and then we'll dissect it and unpack what happened a little bit more.
New this morning, San Antonio police have identified 21-year-old Jose Hernandez as the shooter in Saturday's shooting at a landscaping company. This happened yesterday morning that we first brought to you on GMSA. This happened on Stall Road on the northeast side. Police say Hernandez is employed at the location and showed up and started to shoot at other employees. 3 people died. He was later found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now, police still have not released a motive.
So we have another situation here where 3 innocent people lost their lives who would still be alive till this day had this illegal immigrant been deported and not been in the country to begin with, right? At a certain point, these companies have to be held accountable for tragedies like this, not just simply fined or giving some sort of a stiff penalty for hiring those who are illegal. But when you have tragedies like this that strike, where this man opened fire on the employees, killing 3 people, the companies that hired these people that engage in this type of violence should have to pay for this in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and should be held accountable for this in some way, shape, form, or fashion, regardless of the victims. Because I'm willing to bet you that, the 3 people who were killed, because I have the names of them in an article that I'm getting ready to read for you next, just to get a little bit more detail on what happened. But I wouldn't be surprised if the status of those who were killed were illegal as well. That doesn't make it okay or good by any means. So please don't get what I'm saying, misconstrued. I don't want to see anybody lose their life regardless of their status. We only live once and we only get one go around. No one deserves to lose their lives unjustly. That's just horrific. But my point is that it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, given the fact that this company is clearly hiring illegal immigrants, right? So once again, you're engaging in what is a dangerous practice when you're hiring folks that you don't know who they are, you don't know their backgrounds, you don't know anything about them. Essentially, they come into the country as ghosts and can create an entirely new identity for themselves that leads to stuff like this. Right. So now let's take a moment to dive into this article very quickly to unpack the fact that, yes, he is indeed illegal. And just to get a little bit more detail on what occurred here in San Antonio, Texas. Or once again, I believe it's the San Antonio area. So let me transition over to this article here and then we'll carry on. Okay, so as you can see here, the title reads, ICE says San Antonio shooting suspect was in the U.S. illegally. Unfortunately, right? And the article reads as such: federal immigration officials confirmed Wednesday that the gunman in last weekend's deadly shooting at a San Antonio landscaping business was in the country illegally. The shooting happened the shooting happened just after 7:30 a.m. on November 8th at Mission Landscape Supplies off Stall Road near Jung Road on the northeast side. Police said 21-year-old Jose David Hernandez Galo opened fire on employees, killing 3 people: Selvin Chacon, 48, Sergio Chacon, 38. Oh, I hope they weren't actually related, because that's horrible for that family. And Karen, I believe the last name is Bautista. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Karen Bautista, 24, before taking his own life. Hernandez was employed by the business at the time of the shooting. The article continues to read, on Wednesday, U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement released the following statement, and it reads: murder suspect in triple murder suicide shooting at San Antonio, Texas landscaping business on November 9th was an illegal alien from Honduras. Jose David Hernandez Galo, 21, illegally entered the United States on April 16th, 2019 as a minor with his family unit by crossing the Rio Grande River in El Paso, Texas, at a location not designated as an entry port. On that same date, U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested the family unit and served them with a notice to appear before an immigration judge. And that's where we messed up. This senseless tragedy could have been prevented. The family unit has not reported into ICE since July of 2022. The Biden administration's policies at that time did not consider Gallo or his family unit a priority. Well, there you have it, right? These are the kind of tragedies that take place when you allow illegal immigration to happen, right? And one of the reasons that they were able to just kind of sneak into the country, I shouldn't even say sneak, well, they technically snuck into the country because you came in through a non-port of entry, right? You came in illegally. But when I say sneak in, there are laws on the books concerning immigration and even illegal immigration where if you come in as a family, even prior to the Biden administration, you receive priority and kind of, you can say, the benefit of the doubt concerning safety, that you're actually endangered. You're actually seeking some sort of amnesty if you're coming with your whole family unit, and therefore you'll get priority and will allow you into the country and we'll figure things out after the fact. So that kind of prioritization of illegal immigrant families, though we heard about that a lot during the Biden administration with his open border policies, that's not something that's not something that was created by Biden, right? As far as prioritizing families as well as undocumented minors, that's a policy that has always been in place and is a policy that must be eradicated. This idea that just because you showed up at the border with your family will then give you the benefit of the doubt and kind of waive safety to the side and just allow you into the country and you'll get your day in court. I think that's completely ridiculous and nonsensical. But now what I want to do is this. I want to shift on over to another story here. Let me play this for you because I actually have a lot to say concerning this situation that occurred in, I believe it's New Haven, Connecticut, right? But its origins come from out of Texas. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. Check this out here.
New Haven police have made an arrest in a stop back in early August at Fort Hale Park. Police say DNA evidence from the scene linked the suspect to an unsolved assault in Texas. NBC Connecticut's Amanda Pitts has more.
She was very shaken up, but she was focused on helping us find out who did this.
After assault in broad daylight at Fort Hale Park in New Haven, police say they've found their man.
I'd like to thank the victim for her courage in coming forward. This is a terrible ordeal, and these crimes are extremely sensitive. But her resilience has potentially prevented this from happening to another person.
It happened back on August 9th. The victim was on a run in a wooded area of the park around 8 a.m. when she told police a man attacked her with a box cutter in his hand.
Following the assault, the man was not located. The victim was transported to the hospital for medical treatment.
After that treatment, police say she teamed up with police and the FBI, coming up with a sketch of the man, and DNA recovered at the scene identified a suspect.
The state lab was able to identify a DNA profile which was compared with a national database, leading to an unsolved sex assault in Plano, Texas. Detectives in that case were able to develop a suspect.
That suspect, police say, is 34-year-old Ludwig Carias Interiano of West Haven. Originally from Guatemala, he's undocumented and had been deported in the past, police say. He's now facing charges of aggravated assault and unlawful restraint.
We focus on violent crime, and we hold people accountable no matter who they are.
Chief Carl Jacobson credits Detective Samantha Romano's tireless work.
Just worked day and night to make sure that we found a suspect in this so he couldn't hurt anyone else.
As people at this park breathe a sigh of relief.
It's scary. I had an experience like that myself, so I, can relate. Usually they don't catch these guys, so I'm glad that they caught him.
Now, he did appear in court today, and his bond remains as set at $750,000. In New Haven, Amanda Pitts, NBC, Connecticut News.
Two things I want to address, right? Number one, from my understanding and from what I've seen on the books, there are penalties, that seem, I guess, harsh. Not harsh, but you know what I mean, that are stiff penalties for re-entry once you've been deported once before. But there needs to be significantly stronger penalties in terms of jail time for those who re-enter once you've been deported. I'm talking about significant. If I already kicked you out of here once because you weren't supposed to be here and I catch you again, welcome to America. You're going to stay here now, right? You're going to stay here and you're going to be in jail for about 15, 20 years. I told you not to come back in here and you came back anyway. Okay, well, now you can stay here. As a matter of fact, we got some work for you to do. I mean, it's not like that's not already going on with American citizens. So, I mean, if you just insist, on being here, well, welcome to the country and it's time to get to work. And after 15 years, we'll send you back to your country. Thank you for your labor, right? Since you so desperately wanted to be here just to work hard. There needs to be extremely stiff penalties for that so that is discouraged. That's number one. But number two, and most importantly, if I remember correctly, if my mind serves me correctly, Greg Bavino and the gang, right, or a portion of the gang, are headed over to Charlotte, North Carolina. And I love that they're headed over there and that's being promoted as well. Because when you're talking about these mass deportation operations, it's very important that it spans the entire nation, right? Obviously it is, but it's important that these things get highlighted like, hey, we're headed to Charlotte, North Carolina next. Because when you think about cities and states like, we'll just say New Haven, Connecticut, you don't really think about illegal immigration. That never comes to mind. But look at the tragedies that are occurring over there. You have an illegal immigrant who most likely is from Texas, not because he was born there, but because he illegally crossed the border, probably somewhere at the Rio Grande, remained in Texas, committed a heinous act over there, and ended up traveling over to Connecticut and then committed another heinous act over there. And what you'll find is that when you look into this stuff as much as I do concerning mass deportations and the criminals that are caught in these places like New Haven, Connecticut, or some random city that you've never heard of in Massachusetts, or now what we're going to see in Charlotte, North Carolina, these guys, when they get caught, and they have criminal records, they have lengthy rap sheets that span the entire nation across multiple state lines. That's one of the things that I found the most fascinating concerning the mass deportation and these criminal illegal aliens that have been caught when they get caught, right? Or even in a situation like this where it wasn't ICE, this dummy just committed another horrific crime violating a woman, and this time he got caught and the DNA linked him to another one in Texas. You'll see that oftentimes their criminality go across multiple state lines, and to which they'll get caught in a place like New Haven, Connecticut that you would never think of. So that's why it's so important that we see Greg Bavino and the gang headed over to places that you would never really think of illegal immigration occurring at, like Charlotte, North Carolina, or in this case, New Haven, Connecticut. So I applaud those efforts, and I wish them the best of luck, which, they will have much success like they did with Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on social media platforms. And please do not forget to follow me on Telegram. It is extremely important that you do that so we can remain in communication, right? We don't have to worry about social media nonsense, right? Telegram, at TD Media Group. The link to my Telegrams in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you all for your time. Until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.